Welcome to EME's Cross-Cultural Performance Mastery Training Level 1, China Business 101 and 7 Common Engagements. Through this series of video lessons, we hope to provide you some tips and insights for your business ventures into China. Whether you are planning your first overseas trip or you're a seasoned expat, I hope these tips and insights will help to enhance your experience, help you to achieve better outcomes, and guide you on your journey towards cross-cultural performance mastery. My name is Gene, founder of EME China Consultants, and I will be your guide through these series of Chinese Business 101 lessons. Cross-cultural performance mastery is about discovering your own solutions to complex multicultural challenges, and there's never a single right or wrong answer. There also isn't a single right way to train and develop the soft skills that will enable you to achieve better outcomes. So each lesson will provide you something to read, something to listen, and something to watch. The content of each format might also be different, and this is intentional because we believe that we all learn and acquire insights differently, and there are multiple paths for each of you to achieve your desired cross-cultural performance outcome. Becoming a master of cross-cultural performance requires you to develop imagination and a purpose-driven curiosity to understand. This is the course outline. In this first lesson, we will start with an overview of what we mean by cross-cultural performance, and then we will dive straight into Lesson 1, Communications 101. So, when we talk about cross-cultural performance, we are talking about developing two foundational soft skills that will enable, or shall we say, empower you towards greater success in multicultural environments. To begin this training, or to start this journey, we must first understand how we develop ourselves. We must have a framework to understand in context each aspect of this journey. So we will discuss 3 pillars of our personal development, and this is basically how we mature and how we are shaped by our experiences. The first pillar is things that we learn. This includes our experiences. This also includes things that we learn from, say, we read a book, we take a class, or we learn a new language. We have all been learning since birth, and everything that we learn goes into our proverbial toolbox. If you learn to speak Chinese, then this becomes a skill in your toolbox, and you can take this skill out whenever you need to utilize it. Now, knowing how to speak Chinese doesn't mean you know what to say in Chinese, which leads us to the second pillar, things that we develop. For cross-cultural performance, we focus only on 2 foundational soft skills, awareness and empathy. When you develop greater awareness and empathy, you start to learn how to properly utilize the tools in your toolbox for different cross-cultural engagements. With all of these tools at your disposal, the third pillar is things that we adjust. This is your own attitude, mindset, and approach, what we call AMA values. This is what is 100% controllable by you, and this directly affects how you are perceived by others. Your attitude, mindset, and approach will help you make better decisions, improve how you are perceived by others, and of course, their willingness to trust and follow you, which ultimately will create many benefits and opportunities, especially in the long run. And many of these you might not even be able to imagine. So let's discuss quickly these 2 foundational soft skills in context. Self-awareness is basically understanding how you are perceived by others. Empathy is basically understanding what other people feel and what they value. If you have these 2 insights, it's hard to imagine not being able to achieve a mutually beneficial outcome. Of course, awareness also includes situational awareness and cultural awareness, and they can all serve to help you improve outcomes for your cross-cultural interactions. And the result of cross-cultural performance mastery is to achieve more predictable outcomes that are also more desirable. The opposite of achieving predictable outcomes is what we call China leadership dilemmas, or CLDs. A China leadership dilemma is when we experience an unexpected disappointment because prior ways of thinking, working, and behaving did not lead to the intended positive reactions nor expected outcomes of any cross-cultural engagement. CLDs are symptoms of myopia, unknown unknowns, and a lack of awareness. For example, you do not even realize that the lens you are viewing your cross-cultural encounters through are not putting things in the proper cultural context for you to understand. So your behaviors don't create positive impressions and they don't generate greater trust. These are also caused by our unknown unknowns, things you do not know, and they all lead to something we call a China leadership dilemma. Okay, that was a brief overview of cross-cultural performance. Now for each lesson, we are going to discuss the biggest misperceptions that foreigners might have, the greatest challenges you might encounter, the most common mistakes that many foreigners make, and some killer tips for you to consider. After this more formal presentation, there will also be an unscripted video discussion about the same subject. And again, the content may differ, but that's okay. It's all about giving you different ways to imagine these cross-cultural engagements. And at the end of this mini course, we will send all of you our China Business 101 reference guide. And finally, my give is this free mini course, and my ask is that you give me your comments and your feedback. Asking questions would be great because this helps me to better understand your CLDs for future videos and future articles that I might write. And I will respond personally to all of your questions and all of your comments. Thank you for listening.